Hi everyone, Lisa Salvatore here to talk to you about the first full moon of the year that takes place on January 25th of 2024. But first, if you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you've been with me before, welcome back. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that you can keep up with this content and uploads as they come out. Also subscribe to my newsletter. All of the links are in the description box below. Check out the Evolve Plus TV community, which is psychic medium John Edwards' app for all things metaphysical and for a sense of community. And then my other handles, my social medias are all linked in the description box below. Okay, so we've got the first full moon of 2024 taking place January 25th, Thursday the 25th, 12:54 p.m. Eastern Time. And this full moon is definitely powerful. Full moons always in and of themselves are very powerful. They are the point of the lunar cycle, the very last moon phase, the very last of the 8 moon phases. And this is where we experience a culmination, an illumination of energies, and a release. Everything typically comes to a head under full moon energy. Just ask the doctors or the emergency room staff what the full moons look like. Ask the 911 dispatchers, ask the police call centers how much more they receive under full moon energy. Everything swells up, everything surges, everything increases. Most notably, our emotions, our irritations, our own energies. Okay, so this particular full moon falls in the sign of Leo because the sun is currently in the sign of Aquarius, and the full moon occurs in the exact opposition to the sun. The exact opposite sign of Aquarius is Leo. And so this is where we have our full moon. Now the sun just shifted into Aquarius as of January the 20th in alignment with Pluto. Pluto's big entrance into the sign of Aquarius. I've gone ahead and done a very detailed video with a reading on this, especially through the signs and collectively, and you can find that right in the description box below. But that's a pretty powerful and potent transit. And this is very indicative of setting the stage for ourselves, for our futures, both collectively and especially personally. Pluto is all about transformation, recognition, healing, new beginnings, rejuvenation. And the sun is in Aquarius, which is the sign that is all about humanity. It is the sign of the future. It is the sign of innovation. It is the sign of the collective consciousness. Aquarius is the humanitarian. It's all about we. How can I serve? How can I make things better? The opposite sign of Leo, where we're having this full moon, and remember, a full moon is always an emotional boiling point, a culmination of events. Leo is a fire sign, okay? Aquarius is an air sign, where the sun is currently. Air sign of the mental realms. Aquarius is of the mind, of the intellect. Leo, the opposite sign, falls under the element of fire. And Leo is the sign that is ruled by the sun. So Leo wants to shine bright. The moon is in the darkness, right? But the moon in Leo, it's illuminating something. It's illuminating that balance between the head, Aquarius, and the heart, Leo. Leo also rules over the heart. There is a very strong energy around not only this full moon, but this first portion of the year, which is all about getting in touch with our deepest self, our most authentic self, going into the heart center and recognizing where we might need to stand up for ourselves more, or just maybe where we're not happy or where we're not bringing forth our best self to the world, where we might not be shining our light. And sometimes the shadow side to Leo is that it can be dramatic, it can be theatrical, and it can involve an overinflated sense of self or an overinflated ego. And that is where we pull into the Aquarian side of things, the opposite sign, the humanitarian. Aquarius is all about like, well, how can I make this better? How can I serve humanity? Where Leo is a sign that's more involved with the self. So we're being called within to strike a balance between the head and the heart in one or more specific areas of our lives. And you can go ahead and download your free birth chart. Again, it's linked in the description box right on my website. Note your placements and follow your rising sign to see where this Leo full moon is going to fall for you. And that will be the areas of life where you are likely experiencing this surge of adrenaline or this surge of energy or just these epiphanies. Could be minor. Each full moon is going to feel different for the individuals. And each full moon is different based upon the current skies, based upon what is happening with the astrology, with the planets. So again, big theme right now with the Aquarius sun, Leo moon is a balancing of the head and the heart. It's about taking leadership in our own lives while maintaining a sense of harmony and control. Pluto's all about control. Knowing who you truly are and operating out of that center, okay? That is your dharma, your spiritual moral compass, the way you live your life, your spiritual moral code of conduct, if you will. And with this full moon in an opposition to Pluto, you're likely going to have some pretty jarring internal emotional experiences, things that come up that remind you of where you might not be living in your most authentic space, where you might not be shining your light, where you might actually be dimming your light, or where you might actually be doing this to someone else in your life. Again, remember, Leo is all about me. Leo is about my expression, where Aquarius is all about we. Now, we can even think about this as the personal and the political, taking it to the world stage. Let's go ahead and pull up the chart. So we see the Leo full moon takes place January 25th, 2024 at 12:54 p.m. Eastern Time. Obviously, you would set that for where you are in the world if you were casting the chart. But we see the sun right up here at 5 degrees and 14 minutes of Aquarius with Pluto pretty tight, having just shifted into Aquarius on January 20th, right in harmony with the sun. And then we see the moon exactly opposite the sun here at 5 degrees and 14 minutes of Leo. Now we have a lot of fixed energy surrounding this full moon. Fixed meaning immovable, fixed meaning rooted to the position and determined. So Aquarius is a fixed air sign, Leo is a fixed fire sign. And then we have Jupiter up here at 6 degrees of Taurus, and this actually pulls in a T-square configuration, which is a tension between these planets. So we've got Jupiter, we've got Taurus, which is fixed Earth, okay? Squaring the Aquarius sun over here at 5 degrees, and then also squaring the moon in Leo over here at 5 degrees. However, with this tension, there is a desire to break free, to bring something forward. Think of Jupiter and Taurus as the mediator between the head and the heart, okay? Trying to keep everything practical and grounded and to be very aware of all of your opportunities and equally to be just as aware of any and all limitations that might be present. And also, there's a lot of control energy to this full moon. So it's also just as important to remember that we must also recognize that we cannot control everything. We can do what we can do, and then we can step aside and allow the universe, allow the divine to co-create on our behalf once we've done our part. Remember, Leo is all about expression, creative expression, and being true to the self, and living out of a space of love, out of the heart, following and owning your courage to your truth. And Aquarius is all about making it better, stepping up to the plate, and being there for others just as much as we are there for ourselves while not neglecting the self too much. Now, we have a lot of interesting contradictions with the astrology around this full moon, but don't we always? We actually have a fixed grand cross. You can see Jupiter up here, again at 6 degrees of Taurus, squaring over to the sun in Aquarius, also squaring over to the moon in Leo, opposite the sun in Pluto here. And we also have Haumea, the Hawaiian goddess of fertility, okay? Haumea is opposite Jupiter here at 2 degrees of Scorpio. The thing about Haumea, and you've probably heard me talk about her before, the thing about Haumea is that she also represents regeneration, she represents healing, she represents fertility, she represents nurturance. In mythology, Haumea could birth babies out of different parts of her body. She was a true and authentic healer. So she's involved in this grand cross. So again, this speaks to regeneration of the land, of the people, of the energies. We've also got Uranus up here at 19 degrees of Taurus, getting ready to station direct on the heels of this full moon on January 27th. Now, this is significant because when the planets station either direct or retrograde, they're essentially pivoting and the energy becomes pivotal. The energy surrounding the stations is more ramped up. It's more amplified. The essence of that planet becomes more alive, okay? And Uranus is rocking and rolling, okay? We have seen a tremendous increase in seismic activity that is likely going to continue. Uranus is in Taurus. Taurus is an earth sign. The weather, the food supply. Also, let's not forget that Uranus rules over electricity. Think potential power outages, crazy storms. Typically around a Uranus station, we see an increase in this. Hopefully we won't, but we more than likely will. Positively speaking, we've got Mercury and Mars here, both lined up quite close in Capricorn, which is practical earth energy, adding more to the earth energy that we have here, that grounded energy, bringing it down to earth. And Mars and Mercury are in a trine to Uranus. So this is great for big picture thinking. This is great for intuitive downloads, visions, creative solutions to ongoing issues or challenges that we might be experiencing. A lot of epiphanies around this full moon. And again, pulling it back to the Jupiter T-square with the sun and the moon, this comes back to the needs of the individual versus the needs of the group, of the collective, of the unit that you're working within. Aquarius is all about groups. It's all about our networks, our friends. You may even find that you have a brush up with a friend or something ongoing actually gets resolved. It boils up, goes to a head, and then gets resolved. Speaking of which, we also have the South Node still in Libra, North Node's in Aries, and we've got Uranus in an inconjunct to the South Node. So there is still this energy of releasing, purging toxicity on all levels within relationships. And like I always say, somebody doesn't have to be a toxic person to be toxic for you, for your soul, for your spirit. Remember that. If it's toxic for you, that simply means it's not in alignment with who you are now. And there's a lot of that going on. I know that there is from everybody that I'm working with, myself included. There are just some relationships that cannot go with you, cannot go forward with where you want to go, with where you want to be in the world in the same manner of which they've been before. There's a realignment that is taking place on the energetic level. And Uranus in conjunct the South Node here might just bring up a brush up with a friend, with a colleague, with a family member even, where you just get to that point where you're like, I can't do this anymore. I have tried. My heart is telling me I can't do this. And then you have to respond accordingly, not react, respond. Keep that in mind. Keep the ego in check here with this full moon because it is going to feel more reactive with the fixed energies and everyone's going to kind of think they're right. So maybe let the energy simmer down before addressing anything, but know what comes up for you, the emotions. And while everybody will experience these energies and will experience this full moon, those that are going to feel it the most are going to be those with the fixed points or placements. Think 0 to 8 degrees of Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. And again, remember that understanding the full moon's impact on your personal birth chart is also understanding its meaning in your life at a deeper level. And this will just help you to validate and to understand what you're experiencing at a deeper level. So again, be sure to check out how to download your free birth charts in the description box. Now we also have Jupiter over here at 6 degrees of Taurus in a really sweet trine to Venus over here at 2 degrees of Capricorn. This is like a little bit of a magical aspect. This is asking us to go inward and define what we feel our purpose is, a practical, spiritual purpose. Now, we still feel a little bit of pressure as we have Mars here in Capricorn in a square aspect to the nodal axis, to the nodes of fate, the nodes of the moon, North Node in Aries up here at 18 degrees, and the South Node at 18 Libra, and Mars over here at 15 of Capricorn, and Mercury as well, are both squaring the nodes of fate. So this could just add a little bit of pressure, a little bit of a feeling of mounting pressure. Again, thinking about me and thinking about we. This could absolutely infiltrate into our relationships. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac where the North Node is right now. Fire sign, it's all about courage and sovereignty and standing up in yourself and having the strength to do what you need to do for you. And then the opposite sign of Libra is the sign of relationships, and this is all about we. But the trick is not to sacrifice so much of yourself that you're neglecting what you really want to do or where you really need to go. And then pulling in the Aquarian Leo energy, it complements the Aries and Libra energy. It just emphasizes it. It amplifies it that much more. Because again, Aquarius is all about we, and Leo, fiery Leo, is all about me. And sometimes with these energies, with all this fixed energy as well, again, some dramatics, some theatrics can be involved. So it's up to you to take it inward, to go within your heart space, which is what Leo rules over, the heart, and ask yourself what really matters to you and what is deserving of your time, your energy, and your attention, and then utilize that wisely. Because if you don't, it's going to be very challenging to take action for yourself, and you're going to feel frustrated. And one more thing, the full moon is also conjunct fixed star Varuna, right over here at 7 degrees of Leo. And Varuna is just a little bit of a reminder to watch the ego, especially when we're dealing with Leo energy, the shadow side. Just, try to remain on the lighter side when it comes to arrogance, because again, this energy can just amplify that. There's also a reminder with Jupiter in Taurus squaring off with the sun and the moon here. Remember, Jupiter is the great philosopher. He's also an optimist at the end of the day, but we don't want to have blind optimism, right? And in Taurus, Jupiter just reminds us of we need to be practical. We need to keep it down to earth. How can we benefit both myself individually and also others, the others that I'm dealing with, this individual, this group, this organization? Jupiter in Taurus is just like relaxing this energy, but the Leo dramatics might not like that, and Aquarius wants to be the boss here. So again, there is a bit of friction with this full moon, but you're likely going to feel that internally. Now, I can't say for certain what's going on the outside stage here. I've been staying away from that. but I am pretty sure that we're going with political and personal unrest as well. So again, just pay very close attention to what you are feeding yourself, where you're choosing to put your energy. Lead with love, follow your heart, always, that's Leo, but take your brain with you, Aquarius. No flights of fancy here. Practical progress and innovation and what is going to benefit the future for you. And that is this full moon in Leo pretty much in a nutshell. Think humility, think healing, think love, think kindness, think compassion. Big lessons here, big spiritual lessons on deck. And don't be surprised if you have trouble sleeping, because I don't know about you, but leading up to this full moon, sleep has been really challenging to come by ever since the shift of Pluto, even before that. Now, don't forget to download your free birth chart, or if you already know it, if you have anything between 0 and 8 degrees of any of the fixed signs, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, you're going to be feeling this energy that much more strongly. Full moons are always a time to do some kind of gentle release ritual, and this one is one that I would recommend working with to see what you can release that is no longer serving your soul and your growth and your true purpose. Where are you not following your heart? If you are an Aries rising, this full moon is going to illuminate your 5th house. If you are a Taurus rising, it will be your 4th house. If you're Gemini rising, it will be your 3rd. Cancer, your 2nd. Leo, your 1st. This is your full moon. You get one a year, sometimes 2, but this year you get one. Virgo, it's your 12th house. Libra, your 11th. Scorpio, your 10th. Sagittarius, your 9th. Capricorn, your 8th. Aquarius, your 7th, and Pisces, your 6th house. I hope that this was helpful. Again, lisasalvatore.com. All of my info is linked below. Take good care and happy full moon.